I thought that was where Carlton had to just play catch-up football from there on in. I mentioned about their character. They had some good players. Herman was a good player all day long. Kernahan struggled against Dersma. Dersma being injured, went off in the second term, didn't come back on the ground. And Gary Lyon, who'd kicked, I think, 4 behinds for the Demons from centre-half forward, went to half-back, and they worked very, very well, Melbourne's defence. I think statistically they are one of the best defences in the competition. They restricted Carlton to only 11-14, and that's where Carlton's major problems are, the fact that they can't kick a high enough score.
Well, it was interesting, Sandy, to see the coach, John Northey, put all of his stars up on the forward line. I mean, White was up there, a former defender. Lyon, well, we know he can go both ends, but he was also up there with Spalding and Bennett. And Bennett, in the finish, won the match because he took this huge mark, and that's one of the advantages of having a guy like Bennett there now as compared with last year, that he is at least a target they could have some sort of faith in, and he proved it with this one huge mark in the last bit. He didn't play that well, by the way, but it shows the value of a guy like that.
Can we ponder Carlton's future? Now, they've won one game. What is the remainder of the season going to be? Because they just can't make the 5.
Oh, I think they could make the 5, but they've got to get a few of these stars back. But their stars are
who are they?
Dimming.
Who are these stars?
Well,
back?
I said they're dimming, you know.
Right.
So, but there's a lot of money running around that seconds there with Madden and Johnston and Buckley.
I think you're missing
so
the
on.
point. I really believe now that Carlton have to give some of these younger blokes. Their reserves have won 6 matches and lost 1, and you can't tell me that there aren't 2 or 3 young guys with a bit of potential.
You saw one yesterday, didn't you?
I've named a young bloke, and I asked last night. I went into the rooms and asked about him. Scicluna. Now he's about 6'2". He plays across the half-back line, and he wants the football. And
what did they say?
You talk about dimming stars. They can go back and go over what they've done for the last 10 years and bring the dimming stars back, and they may win enough matches to get into the finals. But is that what it's all about? I mean, you've told us over many, many years that you've got to pick teams that once you get in the finals, you don't fade out, you go on and be very competitive in those final series. And I think that's what they've got to get back to.
Have they lost
They're
that
in the building
Have
stage,
they lost
really.
that special quality they have had for many years of just winning games when that was there to be won?
They've lost the talent they had. They
Well,
haven't got the talent.
Kernahan's still there, Bradley's still there.
There's a few in the defence, though, that struggle a little bit, that can't use the football, and that's where most games are won. I think teams come streaming out of defence and use the ball so well. Young Lovett on the half-back line for Melbourne, tremendous example. What an improver he's been.
Ian, your votes, please.
Well, the votes could have been spread amongst 7 or 8 players, but I picked these out. I thought Herman picked up quite a lot of possessions. He's a very constructive player. Lovett, I'm a big rap for Brett Lovett. He's played at Hawthorn and now really made a name for himself and playing state football now, Brett Lovett. And Stretch, I thought his first half was dominant where the game was set up. Melbourne were well in front at half-time and went on and won it.
All right, thank you, Ian. We shall take a break, and after the break, the mentally tough Bob Carlton.